All right, guys, it is Tuesday, April 30th, 2024, and it is just about 5 o'clock, and I just finished up Steve's car. I did 3 video clips working on this from yesterday and today, and the video clips, the GoPro's freezing. So this is irritating, man. So I went in there and I reset it to factory specs and everything again, and I'm trying it again. We'll see how it goes. But I'm just going to have to break down and buy another brand new GoPro because they just, once they get overheated and overheated and overheated, they just are no good. And this one I bought used from eBay. And although it does work, it's doing about the same thing my last one did. But anyway, so Steve's car, the engine and transmission's ready to go back in. Other than I need to go to the store and get the 2 bolts for the engine mounts because I'm getting some shorter grade 8 bolts for it instead of using those black oxide way too long metric bolts that came with the motor mount kit. But anyway, I got this all done. I am very, very happy with it. It looks really nice. The paint actually matches really good. It makes me wonder if that's exactly what this paint is. I just basically blended this little area right here, and I mean, it is kind of dusty but up in here, but anyway, it looks pretty good. Now this is called a pinch weld. If you don't know, this is a pinch weld right here. So this is a separate piece of metal. It's stamped out, and then your floorboard meets up to it, and it's spot welded. You can see the spot welds right here, and it goes all the way around. So I went in there and basically ground that whole flange off right up through here until it was gone. So it is no longer connected in that spot anymore. So what I did, I tried welding it from under here, and it has seam sealer on the top up there, and it was just making a hot mess and stuff was dripping down. It just melted that seam sealer. I don't know what that was, but it didn't end up working out. By the time I ground it, there wasn't hardly any welds in there. So I ended up cleaning it all back down. I went to the inside of the car and removed the seam sealer off the top of the tunnel and used a wire wheel on a drill and cleaned it to metal. Then I went inside and welded it inside. So I tacked and tacked and tacked and tacked. It took quite a while because I didn't want to overheat anything. And then after it was all fully tack welded all the way across, I ended up going back and putting some SIM. It's aerosol self-etching primer in black. It's really, stuff works great, especially for a quick way of getting something done. So I shot the inside floorboard with that. And I come in here, I mean, before I primered it, I come out here and I ground because I had a little bit of bleed through from the welds, you know what I mean, melt through. So I ground both, or this side here, and then self-etch primed this, and I self-etch primed the inside of the car. And I waited about an hour for it to set up, even though it's aerosol and it dries pretty quick. I went ahead and gave it about an hour. And then I used 3M self-leveling seam sealer, the 2-part system. And I gooped it on the inside top of the trans tunnel, which I'll show you in a second. And then I went in and I did some fine line tape, 2 rows of it, and I put it right on that edge of that and did it with my finger, and it turned out really nice and slick. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. I went back and self-etch primed it again, and then I lightly scuffed the area, and then I used, this is the Rust-Oleum low gloss black, and it's still probably a little bit tacky, but it works pretty good. It worked really, really nice, man. It looks like a match. I am very, very happy with it. There is a little bitty dent here somewhere. I don't really see it now, a little bitty one, but it was already in there. But that turned out good. That's a pretty good structure area for the car, so it has to be welded together. You can't just seam seal it. By the time that heavy bench seat gets bolted back in there and then 2 grown adults get in the car, or even 1, that's putting a lot of stress on that floor. So I wanted that fully welded. But anyway, I'm happy with it, man. It turned out really, really slick. I got this up here. This is self-leveling 3M seam sealer. So I put it on kind of heavy and just let it kind of run and do its own thing. I didn't grind the welds up here. And then after it dried for about an hour, I went in and shot it with that 3M self-etching primer, the SIM brand self-etching primer aerosol, because it's a good enough coating. It'll be fairly durable, even though it's aerosol. But there's a strip of Dynamat that goes on this right here, and also the carpet will go in the car, so you're never going to see it anyway. But it is it's welded and it's sealed for moisture and everything, and it's got a coating on it, and it should last. I'm happy with it. So anyway, tomorrow when I get up in the morning, the first thing I'm going to do is go get the bolts for the engine and the nuts and the lock washers and all the crap. And I've got to mask off that strip right there. I'm going to use fine line tape and back tape what's left of the pinch weld, and then run a fine line right up there where it's even. And then I'm going to kind of back tape a lot of stuff on the floor, and I'm going to shoot that with bed liner. Because past that pinch weld, it's bed lined. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot a little bed liner up on that edge, because when I sanded it to feather edge everything before I primed it, it kind of softened out the bed liner about 1 inch wide on the back side of the pinch weld. So anyway, I'm going to go in and hit that, and it'll be done. It'll be done. But right now, it's, you know, other than the stuff being soft, it looks pretty good. I'm really happy with that. It turned out really good. And not that you see it anyway, because, you know, you're up here at this level, you're not going to see it. The transmission's going to be covering it all anyway. But hopefully Steve can come over and maybe tomorrow or the next day and help me get the engine and trans set back in the car. So I'm happy, man. That turned out really good. I'm happy with that. So got a little bit of time in it and a little bit of materials, but hey, I'm happy with it, man. It looks good and it should last. So it was kind of a mess because I had to pull his car out the last couple of days to work on it. And what I'm doing, this is so my wife can get back in here. I'm actually moving my truck here after she's, you know, when she goes to work, I pull my truck over, and then I back up the 2-door post and I back up the 4-door to the 2-door, and there's a little bit of open area right here, so I back Steve's car out enough to where I can get the door open to work inside of it. So it's kind of a little bit of shuffling I got to do, but the ground's still soft out here, and I can't get these cars in that fenced area right there. So as soon as it dries out a little bit, I am hoping like tomorrow afternoon it should be dry enough. I'm going to try to get these out there, but I'm happy, man. I'll be glad to get the engine trans back in Steve's car and get that over with, you know what I mean? So it was pretty awesome. Randy, when Randy brought the 55s to me Sunday, he was walking around looking at my car and he wanted to hear it run. And I haven't drove the car in a couple weeks, 3 weeks probably, and it is carbureted and it doesn't have a choke on it. And all I did was barely open the door. I didn't even sit down in it, and I reached across with my foot and hit the gas pedal twice and hit the key, and it started right up and sit there and idled dead cold. So that was pretty awesome. That's exactly what you want to happen when somebody's over here looking at your car, you know what I mean? But anyway, I need to go in the house, get cleaned up, and I'm gonna have to cook some dinner. So yay, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm happy, man. Steve's engine and trans, hopefully it'll be going in tomorrow or maybe the next day. It just depends on him. But hopefully his GoPro footage didn't lock up. I won't know until I go plug it in. So anyway, this is an older Hero 7 and it doesn't have the screen on the front like the new ones does. Thanks for watching.